Okay then, welcome back everybody. So we're back for another episode of Fitness Thoughts. Really looking forward to this one today. I know we're going to get a lot of conversation out of James today, which we were just talking about before we started recording. So I am joined today by online coach, former one-to-one PT, but I do believe that is all out the window now, which we're definitely going to be covering. Based in Manchester, James Pace. So James, first of all, mate, thank you for coming on to the podcast. Thank you for giving up your time. You doing all right?
Yes, thanks for having me. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm excited to be on. This is my first podcast, so
the honour of drawing first blood with it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Look forward to it.
So, James, for the people that don't know you, do you just want to give a little bit of a background into yourself and sort of how you got to where you are now, obviously as an online coach yourself as well?
Yeah, so been in the industry for 12 years now. The reason I got into being a trainer was seeing the massive benefits myself getting into fitness and training and that sort of things. It's been like, because it's been such a long career. It's like I was around when kettlebells came out and TRX, slamming tires about and all that sort of jazz was around. Then got into kickboxing. Used to be into obstacle course races. Even had a fight in Thailand kickboxing. That was an interesting experience.
Crazy.
I can provide a link to the video if any of your listeners want to go and watch me get battered by a Swedish guy. And then developed into wanting to, like, partway through my career, wanted to re-educate myself and learn more about, making more of a physical change, help to physically change people. But then all in the way of I thought body transformations, but then it developed, as you learn more, that developed into wanting to help change people's lives even more. And then lockdowns came and that sort of thing. I've become very much into mindset and realizing that if you sort out the top 2 inches, the body transformation, the life transformation, whatever you after can come from that. So it's been like a lot of changes through my career, to be fair. Love doing gym floor, love doing one-to-one, but then also you have the potential to help more people and help. Everyone wants to focus on the workouts when they're thinking they need to change or want to change. Because that is the fun bit, it is the most entertaining bit, and it is definitely needed, but there's a lot more that needs to be addressed as well with people. So that's why I've gone to the online coaching, because it's like I hate the word lifestyle coach, but it's pretty much, it is verging on that, if you wanted to put a name to it. It's been a long process of that's how I've become going on to online, to be fair.
A lot of change, a lot of experience.
A short gist I can make it.
Yeah. So I always try and sort of think of ways to start the episode and questions to start them. And we normally have some sort of set questions, but we're just going to dive straight in today with talking about your childhood. So what was for you, were you a sporty kid? Was that something were you active when you were younger?
I was one of the quiet, shy kids, but I was in pretty much all the teams in high school. Like one of the average players, pretty much in everything, but not a star in anything. One of them.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, like I used to play football, I hated it. Don't know why I used to go in the teams anyway. For some reason, he just did. Then bit of the athletics, got into hockey later on in high school. I was quite good at that, and then it just kind of all went to pot when I left school and got a job, and later, close to like 20s, and then discovered nightlife.
And then it really went out the window.
Yeah, it really went out the window till late 20s. That was when I got back into fitness side of things and stuff. When I discovered the gym, and I actually started getting into the gym because I was getting out of shape and I was gaining a belly. And I don't know why, but ever since I was a kid, I don't know if it's because I could see the dads sort of like my dad's generation and stuff, where it was very much they go to the pub and they had beer bellies. I don't know why this is stuck in my head, but as a child, I was always like, if I start getting a gut on me, I am going to do something about it. When I got to about 26, 27, I started getting a gut on me, so I started going to the gym. Don't know. I can't explain why that was there, but it was always there from a young age.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
That sort of motivation at the back of your head of right, if this happens, something's gone wrong and I need to sort that out.
Yeah. It's just one, you always have these memories from being from a child, don't you? It's for some reason that's always stood out in my memory. I don't know where it came from.
So I wanted to jump into that a little bit more. That was something I wanted to ask was, did you have any key moments during that childhood, early years, teenage years relating to sport or fitness that was like, that had a profound effect on you, that maybe shaped beliefs going forward to now? So obviously that is definitely one of them, seeing your dad's generations, potentially your dad's mates, I'd imagine, seeing the sort of shape that they were in at that time and being, I don't want to be in that shape, which probably sat quite dormant for a lot of years. And then when you noticed yourself getting out of shape, came back straight away, and it was like, oh no, I need to do something about this. So was there anything else going on around that time when you were young that you sort of picked up on, or anything like that?
I'm not sure where it came from. I'll be honest. It definitely was. My dad's generation was like the generation where they could quite easily go to the pub by themselves because they'd catch up with the mates that were there and they'd just go for a couple of pints. And it was very much they enjoy a pint kind of generation. I mean, my dad didn't have a gut on him, but he was into football. He played football, like a decent local level when he was younger. And
I think that's why you went into it as well. Then you reckon that's why you played?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, I'm not sure because I don't mind going into it. Mum and dad split when I was quite a lot younger. That's why I went shy. And then for some reason, it must have been from my dad's generation, the whole go to the pub for a pint thing, and a lot of mad bellies on him. I just remember in high school, the earliest thing I can remember of it is thinking, I am never getting a gut. I am never getting to the stage where I am becoming a fat man. It must have come from seeing my dad because he had quite a lot of brothers and stuff, maybe from that kind of thing. But that always stuck with me. It's just a weird memory because I don't know where it came from, but it was always there. Like, I was never getting fat.
Yeah. And it's impressive because that thought process, that belief is almost, you could argue, is what kickstarted the career that you've got now.
Yeah, 100%. I can pinpoint the moment when I started the gym. I always like telling people this story.
What was that like? What was that first day like?
Right. So it's not even going to the gym. So this is before the gym. So I was living in Leeds. I was a mature student, mid-20s. And I was going out a lot, drinking beer a lot, all this. And I went home to Chester. My friend Pete was having a party. And my mate, I'd not seen my mate, Macca, we call him, for ages. They'd been traveling. Literally, as I arrived, I walked up to say hello to him. He pointed at my stomach and was like, "What is that?" And I was just looking down at the gut, and I was like,
"Brutal."
I was like,
"That is brutal."
I was like, "Wow." Yeah, I was like, "Is it that bad?" He's like, "Mate, you're well round." That week, wow. I joined the gym, wow. and that was it. It just built from there over time.
And how did that make, when you said that, how did that make you feel? Was it a point, was that sort of, because everyone has those friends that are just brutally honest, aren't they? That there's no malicious intent behind it. They're not trying to upset you, but they will just call it as they see it. And is he one of those, or was that from a friend where it's like they don't normally say those kind of things? It almost hurts more when it's from the person who doesn't.
Yeah, it's kind of around the time where the age we were and stuff, everyone pretty much said what they thought. And we were like at a gathering where he probably had a few drinks before I even got there and stuff. So it was like, he just said what he thought. And it did me a favor. Because yes, it was a bit like, oh shit, I'm not happy about that. But it was motivation. So I was like, right, I literally that week I joined the gym at the uni. Started going and this is why I understand where people are coming from when they feel nervous about going to the gym, because I felt so uncomfortable at this stage in my life. So I still wasn't very confident. I was more confident than when I was a kid. But still not anywhere near as confident as I am now. And I felt uncomfortable going into the gym. I went with my friend who used to be a gym instructor, so that helped a bit. Didn't have a clue what I was doing. Found it really hard work just going twice a week, got home from the gym and wanted to go and get a beer from the shop. Like, it's insane. So and I'll never forget them times where I found it really difficult to get down there and get done. And I didn't even think about eating properly at the time. It was just trying to get into the gym. It took me a long time to even think about what I was eating, like well into my 30s probably. And even then, like, it hadn't been amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I'll never forget that confidence thing. That's why I get where people come from when they don't like going into a gym. It's very, very hard. It's very daunting.
It is. Well, certainly when you're young, so I have had that experience, but then for me at the same time, we were very much almost, raised as the gym was a big part of our lives when we were growing up, because I say we, being myself and my brothers, our dad was a bodybuilder just before we were born, and he still trains consistently to this day, and he's been part of the gym that we all grew up going to, and I worked in for 6 years for 30 odd years. So when we were young, you know, it was just a thing that every now and again, if he was looking after us, if my mum was busy, we'd go down to the gym with him. We'd just sit in reception. And we knew all his gym friends, all his childhood mates anyway. So when we got to that age where we started going ourselves, there's definitely like, I definitely wasn't confident, nowhere near that. And there definitely was like, certainly self-conscious at times when you're lifting, but I had an advantage where I already knew everyone, or I already knew a lot of people in there. I already knew the staff. I was already familiar with the place. I knew a good amount of the faces. So it wasn't as bad. I was quite fortunate in that sense. But then I think I remember the first time I went into a different gym and I knew no one. And there was a lot of big blokes in that gym. And I was like, shit, this is what it feels like to be quite intimidated. Like I'm actually sort of almost second guessing what I'm doing because I don't want to look like a tit. And I'd already been training for a few years by that point, but I think that was quite key because that is what most people feel. You know, when they first go in, like you said, like you did.
I still get that now. Like I don't. It's not as prominent a thought, but I still get a bit of nerves going into a gym if I've not been there before. Yeah. Because again, it's people that have used the kit there, or it's different kit I haven't used, or you know, everyone knows each other, and I'm some random guy that's coming in, and you're a bit like, don't want to make a tit yourself. It's always there. Obviously, I don't listen to it, and I have my plan, and I just go and get stuck in and get on with it. But I think it's one of them things like stuff like, I hate the word anxious because people throw it around too much, but you do get a little bit anxious about going into a gym that, well, I do, that I've not been in before. So I'm like, oh shit, I don't know. Am I doing this right? I don't look like an idiot. People are going to be looking at me wondering who the hell am I? So yeah, but obviously just get on with it. So no, I get where people come from when they say like they feel dead nervous going into the gym because it's very daunting.
Yeah, it is. It's a daunting, and you know, until the more recent years was a very male dominated space. It's become more balanced in the past few years, but was up to that point a very male dominated space and was a very sort of particular type of person that you tended to get in gyms. Certainly more in your private gyms. Obviously in your leisure gyms and your chain gyms, it's a bit different. But for ourselves, obviously we both train in private facilities. So yeah, it can be daunting. So you played football, you did athletics, you did hockey, and then sort of got
rugby, but not that long. That was high school. And then
sort of what got through to your late teens, early 20s, and then it just sort of all went on the back burner.
Yeah, I think I started playing hockey for Brooklands, which is like a local team in Sale, which was a bit outside of school. I did that for a little bit, but then it was like, I think I was 17, and it was a case of like living in Middle, which was about 40 minutes away from Sale, expecting to get a lift off my mum or my dad to these games. And then I got a job which involved working on Saturdays. And then I was getting like, I think 100, 120 pound a week or something, which felt like loads of money. I just started going out and just bitched it basically. And then it was a slippery route to gaining a beer belly over the years. And then all fitness and everything stopped.
Yeah. So fast forward then to your first day in the gym, that first session. What were your thoughts at that time? Was it literally just, I just want to lose my belly? There was no sort of goals past that. It was just
simple. It was like, I want to feel my belly, but I lose my belly. But I was like, I feel well uncomfortable. I feel well. I remember like just walking in and just like basically shitting myself.
And what gym was that?
So it was at the uni gym. So I went to Leeds Met.
Okay, cool. I know the gym.
Business and marketing, funnily enough, even though we've got a great sports faculty. At this stage, I didn't know I wanted to be a trainer. And we just went into the local gym up at Leeds Met, and my mate who used to be a gym instructor, he showed me a few exercises. I can't remember the workouts, but I can imagine they probably made no sense whatsoever. But we were just getting in, doing a bit of cardio and lifting a bit of weights, and then trying not to eat shit afterwards because all I wanted to do was binge. It's mad when I think back, just the different habits and stuff. It's a weird experience. Then it was like just slowly progressed because there was still like bits of partying going on. Then I wasn't done with me clubbing and all that sort of stuff. And then the pivotal moment was I went traveling at the end of uni. Only away for like 4 months or so, and did a bit of kickboxing when I was in Thailand. I had a few lessons and absolutely loved it. Did injure myself at the end of it. But then I remember after that wanting to get into going to the gym. and then started having it as a bit more of a regular routine. Once my foot had healed, going to a Virgin Active, I think it was. Still probably no great direction with weight training and stuff because I didn't have a coach or anything like that. But I just used to go in and just use the machine weights and definitely get into a bit more of a routine. And started trying to eat better. Like one of my main meals was like tuna, pasta and pesto. Oh my God, I ate that until I was fed up of it. But still didn't understand like macros or anything like that. I was just trying to eat better through, I think it was Men's Health I was reading. Of all things, just try and get tips from that. And that was like the snowball.
Yeah.
Started building from there, really.
So you did the kickboxing in Thailand. Now, how did that sort of transpire? Because obviously we go from a position of just walking through the gym doors, very intimidated, wanting to lose a bit of weight, not really knowing what you were doing, to then taking on a fight in Thailand. So how did that come about?
Oh no, the fight was quite a few years later.
Right.
So
okay.
this was
just like a training camp.
Yeah. So this was just lessons. So I was still very much building confidence. Didn't have this real urge to build confidence and realize how you can build confidence at this stage. I was just like, I had some savings, and the plan was that I was in a relationship at the time I finished uni, and I had savings to go traveling. This relationship finished, and I was very much in the mindset, I was like, if I don't go traveling now, I'm going to blow this money and never go and see the end of the world. So I just went on an organized trip to meet with a load of people in South America, to travel around part of South America, like 4 different countries, and then just got a flight over to Thailand for 2 months. Met up with a friend that had already been traveling, met these Irish guys, went up the north partying, and then for my last month, they went home and I was on my own. So I went down to the islands where they have the full moon party, and there's a smaller island, Koh Phi, I think it's called, or Koh Tao, I think, one of them anyway. And I just went to what was their kickboxing stadium. I was like, I'm on my own, I'm going to do activities. I'm just going to go and see stuff and try stuff. And it was literally a ring with a load of wooden seats. That was their stadium, bless them. But obviously, it's a small island. And they had lessons on. I was like, that was fun to watch that. Like, screw it. I've not done this before. Give it a go. Absolutely loved it. And that was my routine then. All of a sudden, I had this routine where I was like chilling out on this island. So I've had this great beach front hut, having food, chilling out for the day, going train. The trainings went from once a day into twice a day. Just for the rest of me holiday, basically, and then injured myself at the end of it. But then I think because you notice the difference it was weird, like starting learning how to hit a few pads and getting fitter and stronger in this, you start standing taller, walking down the street, feeling a little bit taller, feeling a bit more confident. So I guess that was the start of maybe the seed being planted of the buzz of wanting to get into exercise.
Yeah, because you almost have that hit of, oh, I feel more confident. I'm feeling better about myself. This is actually doable, and I could take this further. And once you get that little seed, because that is ultimately like me and you, what we're bringing for people is confidence. At the end of the day, it's confidence control. It's, the means that we do that might be through losing a few pounds. It might be through getting a 6-pack. It might be through deadlifting, whatever they want to lift. But ultimately, that is because they want to feel more confident. They don't like how they feel now, whether it's about themselves or how they handle situations or whatever. And we want to feel, and we all have that. It's the main reason we all got into it in the first place. And I think once you get a hit of that, and once you start to realize just how much control you do have over that, if you really want to work for it, that is what gives you that sort of that rush and that buzz to push it further. So because to do a kickboxing camp in Thailand takes a lot of balls. Did you have the same sort of nerves doing that you had when you walked into the gym on that first day?
Oh yeah. At this stage in my life, I was still very shy. Like as a kid, I was really, really shy. I did used to go clubbing a lot, so meet a lot of different people up and down the country. So that, without realizing it, that would have been gaining more. I think it got to a certain stage. I went through quite a lot of years of gaining confidence without realizing how to gain confidence. If that makes sense. So like I'd seen the fun aspect of doing kickboxing, so I just did it, even though I felt a bit nervous and probably felt nervous going to every session to start with. Did notice a difference from me confidence wise. When I came home and started going to like a Virgin Active once me ankle had healed, I definitely felt nervous going there again, like going to the gym, but not as nervous as that first time that I actually went to the gym at Leeds Met. So there was definitely seeds there where like there was something we knew that I was like, if you keep doing stuff you didn't want to do, you were going to feel good for it. And then it wasn't until a couple of years later where I'd noticed a difference from fitness. I noticed a difference in myself in the way of a positive mindset and stuff from exercising and feeling amazing from gaining strength and fitness and everything. But when I was on my personal training course, I was like, at some point, a light bulb moment hit where I was like, my God, if you actually do what you're scared about, you're going to feel better. So that was it then. I was like, right, assessments, I was like volunteering first, which I never used to do. I used to be a hangback kind of person. And again, that's just been a snowball over years of like, if you are nervous or shitting yourself about something, do it.
Yeah.
Because you're only going to feel good for it. Nothing bad's going to happen. Like I had a kickboxing fight and I didn't die from it. It was a dead safe situation. Like I got my arse kicked, didn't come away with too many bruises or anything. And I felt great for it afterwards and proud of myself. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is how I can help.
How did, just to sort of sidetrack, how did that come about then? Because that was a few years later after the training camp in Thailand.
Yeah.
So how did that situation come about?
So I'd so I've been like, so I've been a trainer for quite some time. I'd like done a lot of spin classes and teaching them. Done a few years like as a trainer and everything. I think it was at a different gym now, and I wanted to try a bit of different training. Like again, keep mentioning it. There was a breakup, different relationship. It's a catalyst for everything.
There's a theme here.
Yeah, there's definitely a pattern of developing.
We break up. I want to hit someone. That seems to be what's happening here.
That's not the way I was going to go with it, but yeah. So I think you come out of a relationship, you want to do something new. You don't. I wasn't a dweller. I think I got a lot of tough love from my mum. She's awesome. Mum, she'll love me. I'm saying this. She will listen to this. But yeah, me and my sister, we got tough love. You know, you weren't unless you were really ill, you had to get on with it. You had to like buck up, deal with it, go to school, get some medicine if you had a bit of a cold. There was no like staying at home and dwelling. So I think with any situations like that, I was never a dweller. So this relationship finished, and because I had this memory of doing kickboxing in Thailand, I was like, I wonder if there's anyone about that does kickboxing. You know, maybe I could do that as a bit of training as well as what I'm doing in the gym. And I found a guy called Rick Barnell. I'm throwing the plugs out. He's in, I think, Northwich these days now. And started training with him and did it like a couple of weeks. So I did just do it once a week. And I was like, that was fun, but that wasn't enough. I need to do more. So I started doing it twice a week and then getting into it more and then learning about sparring and learning more and more and more. And then I've got a friend who was in Thailand and she messaged me saying, oh, this place in Thailand, Phuket, there's like a street, I forgot the name of the road, but there's a street with like CrossFit gyms and bodybuilding gyms and kickboxing gyms. She's like, you'd love it. I'm not going to be here, but you should just come over and come on holiday. So I went over by myself, went on holiday. She passed my number on to two guys that she'd met out there, which one was a fighter, one was just another guy on holiday. Met up with them, got to know more about the place and everything, came home and I was like, that wasn't long enough. I want to go again. So I went back a few months later for 3.5 weeks. And one of the guys that was a fighter, because he knew what I was doing at home at like kickboxing and stuff, he was like, you need to have a go of a fight. You've done more training now. You've got to have a go. You've got to. And he got in my head. And there's a place called Tiger Muay Thai. They have a party at the end of each month and it's where people can give it a go. So you still wear shin guards. They don't let you do elbows and knees to the head to keep it safe. And it's like a party, people drinking and stuff. And you just have a go of a fight. So yeah, because I've never had a fight in my life, never had a punch up anywhere, I was like, yeah, go on then. I don't know why. And there was something inside me that was like, you need to do this. You don't want to do it, so you need to do it. So yeah, went out there, trained for 3.5 weeks. Right at the end, yeah, had a fight against this massive Swedish guy.
And how was it? How did you feel before that fight, like walking into the ring?
Very focused that I was going to do it no matter what. Yeah, which is the weird thing.
Whatever the result, you've already won just by getting in there.
Yeah, there was no way I wasn't doing it. Because I said I was doing it, I was doing it. Very, very nervous, very serious, very like on edge. Luckily, I was only third fight in, but I was like, this is happening. I was like trying to get myself. I was watching motivational videos, like, you know, before and everything, trying to like get myself in the right frame of mind for it. And then adrenaline is a weird thing because I don't remember a lot of the fight.
Yeah,
I just remember the first after the first round, I was done. I was like, my conditioning was done. I was like, so pardon my language, guys, but I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm done. I'm like, I'm knackered. I can't do this. but I got up, went again. He kept knocking me down, kept sweeping my leg, kept putting me on the mat, and I just kept getting back up. Which I was quite proud of, the fact that I didn't
100%.
quit. And,
yeah.
Spoiler alert, if anyone's going to go watch it, I'll put the link on it. He caught me in the third round. He'd already won the first 2 rounds. He was better than me. He caught me in the gut. My head went down and he head kicked me and I went down. I remember thinking I was going to get up, but the ref stopped the fight. So TKO.
Yeah. I mean, you go into that fight with it. You said yourself being something of, this scares the shit out of me. I need to do this. I've never been in that situation. I've never been punched. I need to do this. Like, you're going into that fight not to win. You're just going into that fight for the experience, for the fight. So the fact that you just keep getting up and going back, like that's mission accomplished. That's job done, isn't it? And it takes fucking balls to do that. I've never done it. So big credit to you for doing that.
It's something to look back on. It's like, it's mad because I've got this list of these things of the type of person I was at the time. Like, there's a lot of things I didn't want to do. Like even like my spin class assessment, I didn't want to go third, but I did. I would have gone first if they'd let me, but I wasn't quick enough. Do you know what I mean? I've done a lot of obstacle course races that were really, really tough, and some of them, like, I was at breaking point where they could have been over like 10 miles, like carrying stuff over obstacles and mud bogs and all this, and done it on my own. And like one was called the pain and suffering, and they called it like no less than, and then the distance. So it was no less than 10 miles. It turned out to be about 17. I'm not gonna lie, it broke me. Like I was done. I couldn't do some of the obstacles at the end, but again, I've always had this thing in me where it's like, you have to keep going. You know what I mean? It's like, if you can get even with
like that, really appeals to me, like that obstacle course stuff. That sounds really good.
It'd be a big mental challenge. Like, a lot of the stuff I could, like at the end, I couldn't do the obstacles, so you had forfeits. So I just did the forfeits just to get around. Like, but at no point did I think I'm quitting. And I think that's why I know I can help people get through like whatever, because we all have our own difficulties, our own challenges. It could be like an obstacle course race. It could be sticking to a deficit for like 3 weeks. It could be having the balls to go and teach an exercise class or do some public speaking. It could be, anything. It's like being able to get through it. That's why I know I can help people, because it's like, if you do what makes you feel nervous or scares the hell out of you, even if it doesn't go well, nothing bad is going to happen. You're going to feel amazing afterwards for doing it, and you're going to get better from it. That's what that fight was. It was, I think as soon as because someone had put it to me, and I was like, I had no reason to say no, weirdly. That was it then. I was committed. I had to do it.
Because otherwise you're only sort of lying to yourself. You could make up an excuse, but you know that you're only going to be lying to yourself, and it's something else that you then probably regret not doing.
Exactly. And more confidence came from it. When I look back, it's like, I wouldn't do it again. Don't get me wrong. not a chance to step into a ring again. Stupid idea. When I think of it, but it was big confidence builder. Led on to, I think I did another episode. I think that's the pain and suffering was after that. Did Kilimanjaro after that as well. That's been another one, which was lucky enough to have the challenge for doing that. That was every single day was horrible. To be fair, you had moments where like you were gasping for air a little bit and stuff like that. And again, I don't go off on it, but it's just like, this has been me building my confidence over time, because I used to be very, very shy and very, very quiet from an early age. So that's why I know, like, if people do have demons that they want to get over, like confidence or getting past thinking they need to binge at weekends and stuff like that, it is possible. Because I used to think I could not stop binging at weekends. I used to be a weekend warrior, like that, as I like to call it, where you would be a monk through the week, chicken, broccoli. Even I actually like chicken and broccoli, but you know what I mean, the typical stereotypical like PT diet kind of thing people mention, where I would eat like that and try and undo a bad diet and everything. Then comes to the weekend, I just blow it all, drink loads, eat loads, and I always used to think I can't get past that, but you can. It's just getting to the root of the issues and trying to figure it out yourself over time. That's where we come in, to help people, and I can help people from my own experiences.
Well, that's the thing, because that is genuinely amazing. You've gone from being someone who's super quiet, super shy, anxious to even walk through the gym door and not having a clue what you were doing once you're in there, to someone who has climbed Kilimanjaro, who's had a fight in Thailand, who's done these sort of extreme SAS style obstacle courses by themselves, and just put themselves through it for the sheer thought of why not? Like, I've got no reason not to, and it scares me, so I'm going to go and do it. And I think that is for your clients is just, it's got to be, for everyone, has got to be so inspirational, because that is really, really impressive.
I think, I think you've got to get to a stage where, you know what I mean? We're literally, it might go a bit deep now. We're literally here once. So it's like, what can you do? What can you achieve? Like, I'm not saying I'm going to go up a mountain again, or I'm going to even step into it again. I've done it, I've ticked it off. I don't feel like I need to do it again. But it could be like, it could literally be a 5K obstacle course that is just something well out of your comfort zone. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I just think we should all do stuff where it's like, I wonder if I can. And I think, I don't know, it's just like, it's been weird that I, like, from such a shy younger age, that this came, I don't even know when this sort of started happening. It just kind of like started with a men's health obstacle course, then it kind of built to going up a mountain, to speaking on social media. That was another recent one. I used to talking on camera. No, not a chance. The first time I did a story talking to the camera on my own Instagram was last November, like last year. So yeah, a year ago. And sweating, clammy hands, dead nervous, hated it. Ooh, didn't like it one bit. And the more you do it, the more you get used to it. It's
100%. You got to push yourself out there. So I just, to sort of go off topic again, I just wanted to go to that moment where you decided, this is what I want to do. I want to be a PT at the time, and then obviously now a coach. What was that moment like that led to that decision? What sort of brought that thought to the front of your head that actually this is what I want to be doing?
So it was started. It was quite a few months after, like, doing it in Leeds. To be fair, I'd moved back home to Middlewich, and I started going to a local gym, and I think I was getting more into pushing cardio sessions as well as weights, learning a bit more of at least how to do like weights safely. Don't know if there's much science to it. And then I did used to be a little bit of a negative person, or from an early age, because my dad was very negative when I was younger. He was a negative guy. I used to strive to be positive all the time, which is very, very unhealthy, because then when you're not positive all the time, you beat yourself up for not being positive.
And it just exacerbates the negative, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I noticed a shift in this, getting better at not doing this, from exercising. And I was like, wow, this is what you get from working out regularly. Like, that's pretty amazing. And I just had a massive upbeat and more in energy, better mindset on things, even though we didn't really know much about mindset, because we didn't really use the word mindset back then. And I just noticed a huge, big change from it. And then got into going to the gym more and stuff like this. And then there was a guy that I know, used to be a hard house DJ. He'd actually changed his career to be a personal trainer. Got chatting to him about it. And it was like over a good course of months of like chatting to him and like, how you can actually change your career and what it's like to be a trainer, and me getting into training more and noticing the difference in myself more along with these conversations. And then I thought about doing a qualification course and everything, and umming and ahhing about it. I still had some savings after traveling and stuff. And then it was when there was that recession, a lot of businesses were shutting. The warehouse I was working in closed down. And I was like, all right, fitness industry is not going downhill. What course can I do? And I just went on a 7-week course and then got a job in a DW as a gym instructor.
And how was that? How was that in DW?
I was, for the first 2 weeks, no word of a lie, I was constantly nervous. Every day, all day. Yeah. Like, there wasn't a moment where I wasn't nervous. I would remember just constantly shitting myself. And I was only showing people around and showing people how to use kit. Like, you weren't even like taking people through a full session because you were a gym instructor. Oh, I was just a bag of nerves, sweating all day long.
I know exactly what you're talking about with that, because I remember the day. So I finished my personal training course and started advertising my personal training services. And at the time I was still doing my master's. And I remember I just made my Facebook page that day and put a little bit of information on it, maybe an Instagram page as well, I'm not sure. And I'd gone out for a pizza with my mates, the lads I went to uni with. We often meet up every couple of months for a meal or whatever. And we met up for a pizza in Headingley. And I remember getting to the restaurant, sitting down and just checking my phone. And I had a message from someone who was inquiring about PT that wanted to start on Monday. And I think this was Friday night. I honestly shat myself. I was genuine. It's that moment of shit, this is real. Like, it's
Yeah.
on me now. This is, this is actually, I'm doing this. This isn't just a thought anymore. Someone is expecting me to do something now. And then honestly, for the whole weekend, I mean, it didn't even end up happening. That person ended up just not replying to messages after a day or so, and which it happens a lot, doesn't it? But for those couple of days, I was literally like excited, very definitely excited, but also absolutely cacking it just at the thought of shit. This is a job now. Like I'm an adult. Suddenly, all that responsibility is suddenly on your shoulders, and I remember that moment. Like
my first gym induction. I don't know, do gym inductions even happen anymore? It's different now, isn't it?
I think they do it like leisure centres and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, so that's just like a DW back in the day when gym instructors were more of a common thing. And he had a high blood pressure. First person. And I was like, shit.
I'm going to kill him.
I was like, I'm not, oh my God, I'm not, like, just like sweating buckets. And you know what? He was ace. He kept coming for months after that, and he's like improved his health and everything. So it was kind of a good moment. But I remember being very, very nervous all the way through them first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, because they employed me because they knew that I had, studio cycle was my qualification, but it was spin. I kept putting it off. I was like, I'm not ready yet. I need to get fair. Kept putting it off. And then one Thursday, they were like, you're teaching spin on Sunday. I was like, excuse me? What? I've got no music. What? And then again, I think that was like a moment where confidence built because I did it. And because I knew a few members then, I just asked for honest feedback at the end of it. I was like, what do we think? And they were like, good. Obviously, it'll get harder as you get fitter with it because they did like 4 spin classes a week and stuff. And it was like, but you just need to be a bit louder. That was it then. I was a right gobshite. That was a turning point. That was to first teaching spin was probably a big confidence booster actually, because you've got 12, 15 people in front of you, and it was on the gym floor as well. It wasn't like closed studio, the spin area, and you've had to perform. Basically, got to put on a show on, got to give them a good class, got to give them a good workout, and you've got to be on the ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was probably a big confidence booster as well, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Classes. I used to teach a lot of classes, so that would have helped loads. Circuit classes, a lot of spin. Did like a couple like boxer size type ones and stuff. But you got a room full of people, and you just got to shout.
Yeah,
people start talking over you. You got to shut up and listen to what you're telling them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was probably a big confidence booster as well. Again, being put in a situation, didn't like public speaking. Got to do it. You just got to do it. You just got to do stuff you don't want to do.
So, because obviously you've now been in the industry for 12 years, I think. Did you say?
Just over 12 years now, yeah.
Most of those as a one-to-one PT, as an in-person PT.
Yeah, I did literally did 11 months, I think it was, as a gym instructor, and got made redundant.
Right.
So I was like,
so how was that?
I'll go be a PT. It was because like DW, they had a whole restructure thing, and I only went to be a gym instructor because I didn't feel ready to be a PT. I felt too nervous. So I thought, safety net, get a job. But there, when you made redundant, you're like, all right, then I'll just switch over in the same gym and I'll be a PT.
Yeah, not many options.
No. So most of my time has been as a trainer.
And how long were you at DW before you went to Form? Because I know you were there for a while as well, weren't you? Yeah.
So it was DW for I think my first 4 or 5 years. Then I went mobile, which was terrible idea, absolute disaster. For God, I think that was probably less than a year. Probably might have been a year. Well, it was a bit of a split actually. It was probably about a year, and then I had done because kettlebells had come out and kettlebell sport was slowly becoming a thing. The bigger kettlebells that were the competition ones, and I'd done a couple of workshops. The guy in Northwich, and he phoned me saying him and his business partner were opening in a gym. Did I want to go and work there? So it was a warehouse gym, tires, hammers, kettlebells, that sort of stuff. And because I was only doing mobile and it wasn't going great, I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And at that time, I actually started to gain some mobile clients, but then started working in the gym and I started doing classes there and slowly moved over to the warehouse gym. And then, I don't know, the years blend into one. That was like 2 or 3 years or something. And then started getting into a different style of training after kickboxing and stuff. So I'm probably about year 7 or 8 now. Probably about more like 8. So I've done kickboxing and stuff like that. I was still into kickboxing, but I was like, I'd never developed that good skill with my own, dealing with my own nutrition. Actually, the idea of getting abs or getting really lean was never a thing. I was like, I'm never going to be able to do that. I love food too much and I like training out too much. So it was very much like not really training smart or eating smart kind of stage in my career. But I was like, I had this hunger to learn more. So I got myself an online coach, got into that because I was starting to become a thing. Not as big as it is now. Got some decent results from that. And then I was like, this is cool. I want to do this. There's definitely a system that you can develop to gain people big progress. And that's when I did the internship at FLF.
That's where we met, isn't it?
Yeah. So the seminars after that, wasn't it? So, yeah. So I did the internship there and I did a lot of seminars after that. And then after the internship, that was when I was like, I want to work in Manchester.
Yeah.
So I did a bit of a mentorship thing and then found Form and started training, working at Form, still working in Northwich a little bit. And so it was really, really, really good at Form, great place, really enjoyed it. I think just like with lockdowns and a new lifestyle, it gave me the urge to want to do something different and help more people. Also gain a bit of freedom for myself. I'm in my 40s now. I've done a lot of hours on the gym floor. I've done a lot of crazy hours. I've just felt like it was time for a change.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to build me a business as well. Like to feel like my own, not to be working in a gym under the umbrella of someone.
Yeah. So, and it gives you that going online for yourself. It gives you that capacity to almost brand your niche as well. And what sort of, the areas that you really love. Because I know for you, mindset is massive. And I know you're really into the holistic side of things, the lifestyle side of things. I know you've sort of been reading the Joe Dispenza, what is it? I've mispronounced that, didn't it? The Joe Dispenza collections.
Yeah.
So have you found that online coaching allowed you to do that a little bit more in terms of bringing that side of things?
I definitely find like I can look at the whole package more because you've got more time. Like I'll have like catch-up calls with my clients on a one-to-one basis and stuff. Even if they're in Manchester, I'll actually go meet them for a coffee. Because more needs to be looked at than just the training. Yeah. And it could have been, maybe it's down to me and my confidence or the time I wasn't and the way I was doing things. The gym floor, a lot of people come for the training session. They don't always want to go and have a chat about everything else. They want to get into the session. They're there because they want to work hard. So I did find, maybe it was like down to me not being too selective with the clients to work with, because I'm still figuring out who was going to be my ideal client, because we all work with certain types of people. So I just found like going onto online, it was like the opportunity to actually help people in the right way. I love programming sessions. I still write people sessions and stuff like that. But you can look at everything else as well. Yeah. And help with everything else and give more. And you've got time to give more because people need more than just the workouts. The workouts is the fun bit. And a lot of the time, the workout, if we're doing whatever training we enjoy doing, everything else stays on point. But this isn't scientifically, this isn't the bit that my clients need. They need everything else. Yeah. But it does go with it. Like I've got one client, he is absolutely flying because he was training at home and now he's gone back to his local gym and he's flying because he's loving using the machines. It's a local gym that he goes to, and it's kind of like a bodybuilder gym, but they've crammed loads of kit in a small building, but it's loads of machines and hack squat, leg press, arcing pull down, all this, and he's loving it. And because he's doing workouts that he loves doing, his nutrition, everything is like so much better, even though scientifically it's not really doing as much as he thinks. I went off on one, didn't I? How did we get to that?
No, but it's true. It is. There's a lot of almost too much focus put on, okay, what exercise do I need to do? What do I need to do in the gym? How much cardio do I need to do to lose weight? Or, what do I need to be eating? Where it's actually, it's a case of, well, let's just take a step back, because those things, all right, nutrition, very important, especially when it comes to fat loss. There's no way around that. But there's a lot of things that are going to factor into whether that's an easy process for you, or whether that's a difficult process for you, or whether that's a sustainable approach for you. And that's going to be around, not only how you perceive yourself, but how you perceive your day-to-day habits, responsibilities, routines, how your stress is, how your sleep is, how your digestion is, like all these factors that are like the core fundamentals of building a lifestyle that allows you to change your body composition when you want to change it, or sustain a body composition once you've changed it. And it does allow you, I completely agree with you, having that online presence, it does allow you to take that magnifying glass away just from the gym workouts and be like, right, let's look at everything as a whole and let's see the areas that we need to actually focus on more here. Because, if we take one gym session out of the week and it gives us that time back to improve our stress or sleep or digestion, or even just work on habits, like that's going to have a bigger effect long term on what you're capable of doing and capable of sustaining. So definitely agree with that.
100%. Like, I don't know about yourself, but I've had a few conversations actually this week or over the past 7 days, where a few clients, they felt like they've been failing because they've missed gym workouts, and they're messaging me saying, "Oh, sorry, I've not managed to do that because I'm traveling down to London today." And it's like, no, don't worry. I'd have to remind them, your goal is weight loss. If you miss a workout, it is no big deal. Focus on the main 2, calories and moving. Yes, there's other things like sleep, hydration, everything, which is very important. But, sometimes people are so focused on like, oh my God, I've missed a workout, I'm failing my week. But it's like, no, and I'm sure a lot of people out there at this time of year experience the same, because, motivation drops a little bit because it's getting darker. I had that last week. Yeah, I didn't feel like trading much. It happens, change of seasons. People are suddenly getting busier because Christmas shopping, kids are getting close to half term again, aren't they? Christmas term, aren't they?
Yeah, there'll be a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks off, I'd have thought, at least.
Yeah, it's like exams are happening for some kids. So like life is getting more stressful, and so many people that like I found, a few of my clients and other people I spoke to are thinking they're failing, and they're like beating themselves up because they've not got the workouts. And it's like, no, you've got kids. You're nailing everything with your kids. You're getting your steps in, and you're staying in the calorie deficit. The fact you've missed a workout, don't worry about it. So this is where online coaching come in. It's like we zoom out, condor moment, look at the bigger picture, because it's hard to see the bigger picture when it's your picture. Sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. And even just in sort of coping strategies when it comes to like, when you have that conversation and, you might get someone say, oh, I didn't get a chance to train on X day. And I'm annoyed about it. And you can sort of be like, okay, well, how did you deal with it? And it's like, well, I was annoyed about it, but I kept my food stayed the same. I still got my steps in. I still went to bed. And it's like, all right, cool. How would you have dealt with it 3 months ago? Well, it would have probably pissed me off to the point where I'd have, got a takeaway, felt like crap, felt like I was failing, and spent the rest of the week feeling like shit. And it's like, okay, cool. So look at the comparison between the two, because the event is the same. You've missed a workout, but look at how you've dealt with it and reacted it. Which one is more sustainable? Which one is going to be more conducive to what you want to achieve? Because that in itself is so much more progress than just I can sustain 3 gym sessions a week, or I never miss a gym session. So that's massive.
That's where the coaching side of things come from. Like, you can definitely be able to look at the bigger picture more often and helping people realize this. And you're more available as well. Like, God, the amount of voice notes I give out now. I just find it easier to help people with a voice note. And I think a lot of times social media doesn't help either, because like you got so many people on there with like abs and these fake booties and all this sort of stuff, and probably they've had surgery or they've had roids or whatever, and people are too busy looking at them and then thinking, oh my God, I ain't got muscles like that, so when I've skipped a workout, am I ever going to like feel good about myself because I've skipped this one workout? And like you said, it's actually what has changed with your habits. And that's what being a coach is, isn't it? It's like helping people realize there's more wins to be had, like, and there probably is a lot of wins that you've not realized you've actually done and changed. So
I think social media is one of the best things, and at the same time, they're one of the worst things when it comes to health, fitness. Certainly, when it comes to mental health, it can be great. Certainly for what we do from a business point of view, a lot of us, in some cases, rely on it. But then it can take a lot away as well. It can be. I mean, have you seen anything like that, or have you spoken to people where social media has just been a complete no-go in the terms of they do nothing but look at it and feel shit, basically?
Not specifically, but I've done that myself in the past. But I know people do it. It's like, because you start following people that probably aren't great for you to be following. Might be even like self-comparison, or wishing that you could do that. Well, there's self-comparison, or wanting that sort of physique, or what I mean, and just like pulling yourself to pieces. We are our own worst critics. Human beings, we're negatively wired naturally, because we come from caveman days where we were just trying to survive and not get eaten. So our brain's like, the first thing when a situation arises, our first thing we do is think negatively. But then it's like, how have we trained our brains to change that or deal with that or whatever? So when you look at social media, a lot of time we follow people that they're not going to make us feel good about ourselves, because we're going to compare to what they're like, what they've got, what they're like, what we want instead of what we've got. So it's like, I realized a while back, If you've got anyone like that, get rid.
Mm.
If it's someone that you feel bad about unfollowing and you don't want to offend them, mute them. And then you don't compare.
But I think it's, I could be wrong here, so don't quote me on it, okay. But I think it's an Eleanor Roosevelt quote that says comparison is the thief of joy. And it's a great quote because it is so true. It literally,
I don't know who said it, but I've definitely heard that like that.
Yeah,
so that is
you could be having the best day ever. And then, you have a scroll through and you see someone else that's doing something that you perceive as better. And all of a sudden that great day doesn't look so good and you're feeling shit about it. Yeah. Or comparing yourself to something that doesn't matter.
Yeah, we all do it. We'll all do it in the future, even if we've got a good mindset practices. We'll all do it. That's why I think it's hard to do because people are so used to scrolling and all this. But I think it's definitely like you've got to try and catch yourself how often you scroll and try not to do it. And like I say, if you've got people that make you feel shit about yourself on your social media, get rid of them. If there's someone that you know on a personal level and you don't want to offend them because someone might be offended by that, mute them. Like, spend time off your phone, turn it off.
Yeah.
Like I will happily watch a film and turn my phone off.
Yeah. I
don't need to scroll. I want to watch this film. I don't need to scroll. One thing that I do myself, which I'm always banging on about, I highly recommend people to do it, is like 90 minutes to 2 hours before you go into sleep, turn your phone off. And people, a lot of the time, people say to me like, well, am I supposed to wake up with my alarm? Buy an alarm clock. They do exist.
Invest.
You don't need to take your phone into the bedroom. Stop scrolling in bed.
Yeah. But I say we, myself and Sophie, will literally charge our phones in this room. Obviously, this isn't the bedroom. Just so it just doesn't distract you on an evening.
Yeah. Like, and one of the best things I bought, and I get like some people probably couldn't have this because you might be waking up at different times if you're a couple, is a Lumi alarm clock.
Yeah.
It brightens the room up. You don't feel groggy when you wake up. You don't need your phone to wake up. You don't lie in bed scrolling while you're trying to peel your eyes open because the bedroom's light. And yeah, I get it. Can take a bit of time and developing discipline to turn your phone off at night. I get it because I've only just started doing it like the past 8 months or something myself and got religious at doing it. But you definitely feel the difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Something like that sounds like it wouldn't make such a big difference, but it does. Unplugging, getting off electronic devices, getting off social media as much as you can or don't need to be on it. Such a game changer. It's huge. And I used to be terrible at scrolling and self-comparing. So that's one of the big things that I would recommend to anyone if you try and catch yourself if you're scrolling. One thing you notice is like being in the, because I live in the Manchester City Centre, is there's a lot of people walking around looking down, scrolling. Just have a look up every now and then when you're walking through town and notice how many people are doing it. If you see loads of people doing it, stop doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Your phone's going to be there when you put your hand back in your pocket. Try and spend some time off it. It's mad. It's like sounds so simple, but it's mad how if you get a bit of consistency doing that, you do feel better for it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up there. But before we go, where can people find you if they want to get in touch?
So on Instagram, james.pace.coaching. Same on my Facebook, James Pace Coaching. I haven't got Twitter, or email jamespacecoaching@gmail.com. They're my 3.
Awesome. Cheers, man. And before I do let you go, I always ask everyone to do this. Putting you on the spot now. Can you leave us with something inspirational? Some piece of advice for someone that's struggling right now. Let's say it's, with a weight loss goal. What would your one piece of advice be?
With weight loss goal, look for small wins. Yeah. Even if you feel like you're not making progress, keep trying to tick boxes. It could be getting your step target, whatever that is. It could be just trying to stick to them calories. Even if you are still having some of the foods like you enjoy, like, chocolate and stuff like that, just keep trying to tick boxes. Stop being hard on yourself when the progress isn't coming quick, and build up consistency. Cut yourself some slack, basically, and stop comparing to other people on Instagram. That's a big one.
Tick boxes and stop comparing.
Stop comparing. That is a huge one.
Love it. James, thank you for coming on, mate. Really appreciate you giving up your time.
Thanks for having me.
Speak to you soon.